Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and tonight I want to welcome Anthony Ferraro to the show. Tonight we are going to tackle our top 10 favorite albums of the 80s. The chat is open. We want to hear from you. Let's keep this interactive. Let's go.
Grant is changing the world one track at a time on Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and tonight I want to welcome Anthony Ferraro to the show. Tonight we have a special treat for everyone because we are going to do our top 10 favorite albums of the 80s. Now, Anthony, we've talked briefly back and forth, and I think I'm going to be very surprised about Anthony's picks, but maybe I won't. I'm sure everybody here will dig them, but I'm looking forward to it. And I bet, ladies and gentlemen, that our picks will be very different. But there might be one pick that might cross over, but you never know. Anyway, Mr. Ferraro, nice to see you. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Grant.
Of course. It'll be fun talking music. That's all it's about. Hopefully we can turn you on to something from this show that you want to go out and check out.
You're not going to be talking about the Ohio State defense?
Not on this show.
Okay.
No, we don't. No, not this time. So let's go. We'll just go two and back and forth. So what is your, and I don't think Mr. Ferraro has those numbered, but just give me two and we'll just wing it. You know how we do it here in the Warehouse,
so
everybody.
I'm going to pick, all right, so of the 10, I'll try to go in order. I don't have it on my list, but I'm going to go with Steve Hackett, Defector from 1980.
I already know. None of these are going to match.
The last of the, in my opinion, the last of kind of like the golden run of the first four albums of his solo albums. Defector still kind of has that classic era lineup with Pete Hicks on vocals, Nick Mangus on keys. Another great record. You got the three great instrumentals, Slogans, Jacuzzi, and The Steps with the great John Hackett on the flute. So that's going to be my number one. That's going to be my first one. Steve Hackett, Defector, 1980. And then I'm going to go with Roger Waters, Pros and Cons from 1984. Fantastic, just a fantastic record. It was written actually during the Wall era, and I remember right around that time they were going to either do the Wall or Pros. Roger said, "Hey Dave, what do you think of this stuff?" And Dave says, "Well, I can work more with the Wall." So that's how Pros and Cons came to be later on. So just another dynamic record from Roger Waters. So from 1984, Pros and Cons.
So how do you are you a fan of the Wall though?
Yes.
I love the Wall as well. There's a lot of people that don't. But I think David Gilmour was probably right. I think there was probably a lot more for him to work with on the Wall than there was on Pros and Cons. Though Pros and Cons is fine. I don't have any issues with it. But I think from Dave's perspective, I think he was probably right.
It was a typical Roger Waters concept record. And to be honest, I'm not a huge Clapton fan, but I've always thought that was Clapton's finest hour.
Yeah.
I don't think Clapton was on the tour very long.
Well, I think a lot of people, at least what I've read, a lot of people like his work on that record.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
he never sounded like anything else ever.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard that Roger Waters solo album, go out and check it out. That's what it's about here. And if you have, let us know what you think down below. And while you're at it, go ahead and list your top 10 records of the 80s. We'd like to see it. We will comment. We will take a look at it. So, all right, here we go. This is you were just gonna go, yeah, I can see you like that. All right, here we go. My number 10. Now, these are records that after all this time, now maybe back when they were out, I didn't listen to them all that much, maybe. Well, a lot of them. Yes, a lot of them. But there's some of these records really kind of grew on me. Now, my number 10, I'm going to go, you're just going to laugh. I'm going to go with the Thompson Twins, Into the Gap.
Oh, you know what's funny about that record? That title track kicks.
It kicks.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 80s synth pop, but it's very cohesive. There's a lot of creativity here. I think Tom Bailey sounds great. The songwriting's great. Who is it? Alex Sadkin's the producer. I think when he worked with Thompson Twins, I think he knew exactly what to do with it. It's got the track Doctor, You Take Me Up. But I think the sequencing's good. The production's good. I could listen to this record over and it just works. This is where I think Thompson Twins really came into their own this is the best record. So that's like, I think it was recorded like November. When did it come out? 84. So it was
Mhm.
like recorded, I think November of 83 to January 84. But they also recorded in the Bahamas. So that's probably why it turned out so well. If I was recording in the Bahamas, I'd put out a good record too.
Yeah, but isn't that where Love Beach was recorded?
Yeah, but don't forget that ELP, come on, they were done by that
They
time.
were done by then.
They were
Yeah.
done by then.
Yeah.
All right, my number 9 is well, a lot of people are going to agree with me. I think this band, when I look back at them, has to be one of the best bands of the era. In fact, this band is still putting out great stuff. They've reformed, they've put out a couple records, but I am going to say that their debut album from 1983, The Hurting
Hmm.
from Tears for Fears, is absolutely a masterpiece. The same thing, it's about childhood trauma, but it's synth pop, it's new wave, it's art pop, it's atmospheric. The the lyrics are kind of morose, but it's got a certain production on it. If you ever saw the movie, Donnie Darko, they play this part of this, a couple of maybe one or two tracks from this. I can't remember, but man, it fits that whole dark kind of movie perfect. I think they do either Mad World or Pale Shelter, but those are two of the key tracks produced by Chris Hughes in collaboration with Roland and Kurt. Perfect record. Now, this is one of those CDs, like I mentioned, that back in the day, I really didn't pay too much attention to it. I was much more familiar with, songs from the Big Chair. But that didn't really catch on with me either until much later, and I got the brilliance of Tears for Fears. In fact, their last album was great. The album before that was great. I love Tears for Fears.
That's the one before Songs from the Big Chair, right?
Yeah, this is the
Okay.
debut,
Yeah.
and
There
it
was a,
seemed
I think there's a track in there that did get some MTV play.
yes. I think probably Mad World or
Pale Shelter, that was the
yeah.
one. Yeah.
But this record I think is good because it seems like it's more of a 50-50 where, later years Roland kind of goes beyond and then eventually Kurt quits after um was it Tears of Love? Tears, what the hell's that record? You know what I'm talking about. 89 he quits and then Roland keeps going, but then eventually Kurt comes back, but The Hurting seems like it's an album where it seems like there's a lot of Kurt Smith vocals, probably more than Roland. And then as they kept going, Roland kind of took more vocals, but I think it's great.
So
I
Kurt
think
Smith left after the Sowing of Seeds of Love album.
Seeds of Love. God,
Seeds of
what an
Love,
idiot.
okay. Yeah,
Ladies and
Steven
gentlemen,
Wilson thinks
I
that's
have
one of
a
the greatest pop
sickness.
records of all time.
One of the greatest, yes. Seeds of Love.
Poor
Not
Steven
my
Wilson's not going
favorite.
to show up in our 80s show, Grant.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
But there you go. There's my 10 and 9. What's your next two?
All right, I guess the next two I'm going to kind of go a little hair metal out. I'm going to go with,
All right.
all right. A lot of people know me are not going to be surprised that I say this, but 1985, when I was 15, this album, I was obsessed with this band. I was obsessed with the record, but I still love it now. I'm going to go with Invasion of Your Privacy from Ratt, 1985. One of the greatest opening riffs of all time. Lay It Down. A lot of great deep cuts. I mean, I know they were a big fan. I was a big fan of the band when I was 15, but now I still think the music sounds great. Warren DeMartini's a beast on guitar, and Lay It Down. What can you say? So I'm going to go with Ratt, Invasion of Your Privacy from 1985, and then I'm going to go with Blue Murder from
Oh,
1989
yeah.
with Sykes, Tony Franklin, and Carmine Appice or a piece or whatever they want to call it.
I call him a piece.
Yeah, Sykes is a madman. He's a genius. It's too bad that Whitesnake band that played on that record never actually played that album live because they were all sacked before they toured. A lot of beef between Sykes and Coverdale, but Sykes is a lead man as a player. That Blue Murder album's fantastic. Too bad it didn't sell as well as they thought it was going to be, but I thought it was a fantastic debut.
But that second Blue Murder album really didn't sell.
No, but there's some really good songs on it.
Oh, yeah, I agree. But I think the Rock Candy Is that, am I correct?
I think Rock Candy only did the first one, I think.
They
Or
only
did they
did
do
the,
the second one too?
no, I think they did the second one.
Okay.
Did they do the second one? I don't know, but a lot of people think that Rock Candy CD sounds better than the original Geffen
I've
CD
read
by
that.
far. Yeah. I don't have it. I haven't heard it. I've got the Geffen CD, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
I have it on LP. It sounds pretty good on wax.
Yeah. All right, cool. Great picks. All right, my number 8 and number 7. One of these you're going to dig, but number 8, I love this band. I saw this band, gosh, what was it, 98? A tour at Blossom in Cuyahoga County in Ohio. It was the Human League, Culture Club, and Howard Jones.
Oh, wow.
But Culture Club was phenomenal, and I dig it. I'm going to go with Color by Numbers, Culture Club. I think that is the one of the greatest albums of the 80s. Again, it's a masterpiece. It blends blue-eyed soul, gospel, reggae, jazz. The playing's great. The sequencing's good. Karma Communion, you may listen to it and go, well, but Church of the Poisoned Mind is great. Man, maybe a lot of people, maybe it got a lot of overplay back in the day, but as a vocalist, man, I think Boy George is great, and the band was good. The bass playing's always phenomenal. I don't have an issue with it. Oh, I did pull it. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is like the Epic Virgin CD from 100 years ago. But I love it. I don't have to explain anything about Culture Club, but I think that's probably one of those bands people don't really think about much anymore. But I think they were a lot more than just a gimmick, you know?
Oh, well, they had a bunch of hits. I mean, they were that was the synth pop kind of was the thing back then. I mean, Howard Jones was big, as you said, the Human League, they all had hits. But it was like
But this,
between like 82, 83, 84, and then it kind of went to the hair metal scene around 85-ish.
the thing with the Culture Club is that they were much more they were much more closely aligned with Motown than anything else because it was all blue-eyed soul.
Hmm.
They weren't synth pop by any means, but they were doing something a little bit different. And, Don't You Want to Hurt Me is a great reggae track. I mean, they blended a lot of different types of music together, and I think it worked. Now, Color by Numbers was the peak. Some of the later albums that they've put out after they regrouped are damn near as good as Color by Numbers, but that's my next pick. All right. My
And you
number,
know what else was a good the album after that War song? That was a pretty cool tune.
that's a good song.
Yeah.
That's the best song on it. That
Oh,
was
is
when
it?
Boy was doing a lot of drugs.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever see that video? Oh, what concert was it? I don't know.
I
But,
was at the festival where he's standing by Sting and he's coked out of his
and
mind.
he's on, I think he's on,
Heroin.
and he's got
Yeah, Sting's
white
looking at him
makeup on him.
dude.
And he's barely, yeah, he was all on heroin. That's when
Yeah.
he reached his bottom. So, yeah, that album was a lot of heroin was going on. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it all went to hell. All right, number 7, my favorite. God, I could have rated this higher. And a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I think of the trilogy of albums that King Crimson put out, this is my favorite. It's always been my favorite. And I don't know why people criticize it so much. They always say Three of a Perfect Pair is better or Discipline. But my favorite King Crimson album, along with Martin Popoff, is Beat from 1982.
Interesting.
Oh, brilliant. Heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever think that King Crimson could actually pull off a pop song, but then make it artistically viable? I mean, Requiem's great. The whole freaking thing's good. And I don't know why people, I know that they recorded that they had a lot of issues within the band. I don't know why, but I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I think it made them accessible enough that it almost had a hit. But I think it worked. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. You're a big pro guy.
I
What's
was
your
always
thoughts
kind
on
of like
Beat?
I was always Discipline I love. Three of a Perfect Pair I really like. Beat was always one of those albums where I always listened to, but I didn't really kind of like it didn't grab me. But then I bought a one of the shows that you could get online. I bought a show from that tour, and like the song just came, they just came more alive, in a live setting, and then I learned to appreciate the album more. Because they played on the Beat tour that I saw last year, they played a couple tunes. They played Beat
Neil,
Heart
Jack,
Beat.
and Me.
Oh, Neil Jack and Me is fantastic.
I think the whole thing's fantastic. So I don't know. Martin Popoff gets it, damn it.
Yeah,
Good
Mark
enough
Poff.
for Martin. Good enough for
Ask him about Starcastle sometime.
I don't think I better. I don't think I don't know what,
He
yeah.
is not a fan.
So I guess what I did find out that I don't know why there was tension, but I guess during Requiem there was some kind of conflict between Fripp and Blue. I don't know. I guess Fripp was absent from the mixing and promotion. Blue, Adrian always said it was just an awful experience.
Yeah, yeah.
But Fripp did do that 5.1 mix with our friend
Steven.
yeah. So I don't know. Maybe he came around to it. I thought it was great. You can't listen to that album. I can't detect any issues on that record when I hear
No.
it. Whatever. So there you go. I'm gonna go with Beat.
All right. My next, what are we down to? We have one, two, three, one, two, three, four, five, six. We got six left. All right. All right. So I'm going to go with, let's see here. What would group well together? All right. I'm going to do these two together. I'm going to
All
do
right.
Jethro Tull A from 1980. I know Jobson just added to that
You
record.
know that was gonna come up.
It just sounds amazing. It's prog. It's just everything about it is just it's perfect for me. I mean, I wish when they had released the book, they had found the extra footage to the tour because when they were doing Protect and Survive on that tour, they actually had like it was like a 4 minute track that turned into an 8 minute track because Jobson would do like a just amazing violin solo, and I was hoping they would find that live, but there's no video of it because it was, I guess, lost in a fire or trash. But Protect and Survive, Caught in the Crossfire, which was kind of about bringing home the Iran hostages at the time, Black Sunday, Pint Martin's Jig, which is a fantastic Martin Barr kind of like instrumental. Just everything about A. That's actually perfect. I think the suits are great, even though they're goofy. I just think it was, and they toured with Whitesnake opened up for them, which is a weird bill.
That doesn't make sense at all.
No, it doesn't make sense. It's almost like Gentle Giant opening up for Sabbath in '73.
Yeah, that doesn't make
No.
sense either.
But Jethro Tull, a perfect record for me. And then I'm just going to kind of group it along with, I'm going to go with Eddie Jobson's Zinc from 1983. I mean, love it. It's synth pop. I love his voice. It's not fantastic, but I still love it. Gary Green makes an appearance from Gentle Giant on a couple tracks. Eddie goes behind the mic and he sings about 4 or 5 tunes. Great violin playing. Just a perfect record by Eddie Jobson. So I'm going
Can't
to go with
imagine that
Zinc and
showing
Jethro
up here
Tull.
today.
So it was like an Eddie Jobson kind of like theme too.
It's an Eddie Jobson tribute.
Yes.
I got that promo poster. I always said that. I got it, but it's not in the best shape, so I never had it framed. Should get another one because I like the way it looks. Oh well, yeah. I can't. I don't have any problem with that. All right, my number. I guess it's number 6. I'm gonna go with my favorite Rush album of all time, and it's not Moving Pictures. I'm gonna go with Permanent Waves
Oh my God.
because you're
Jacob's
getting,
Ladder.
huh?
Jacob's Ladder.
That's right. But they're getting things more honed in. Well, this might have been the start if you think about it. Since the 80s, I think everything kind of changed. But you got Spirit of the Radio. A lot of people would say, oh, I don't want to hear that again. But I love it. I can listen to it
It's
over.
still
It sounds amazing. Free Will's great. They're a little bit more accessible on here, but they're not overdoing the keyboards yet.
no.
It's no power windows.
I like Power Windows.
I don't like the production on it.
I dig it.
I think this album sounds really good, though.
Oh yeah.
I think this is a good entry point for anybody getting into them. Of course, you got Terry Brown, producer. I love the way the whole thing sounds. I love the drum sounds on it. I think it's a better sounding record than Moving Pictures. I don't know. There's not really much more I can say about it. It's freaking my favorite Rush album. Get yours today. So there you go. God, this could be higher too. This has to be one of the greatest. Even though it's low, I shouldn't rate it low. I could rate this really high. The debut album from the Pretenders in 1980.
Okay.
It's kind of it's jangle pop. Is it power pop? More jangle pop, but it's got great James Honeyman Scott as a guitar player, freaking phenomenal. You know, you got Rickenbacker 12 strings on here. You've got some jangly stuff. Chrissie Hynde's best set of songs. Of course, they're her best set of songs. It's the first Pretenders album. And this, I think the first Pretenders band, this and Pretenders 2, kind of interchangeable, but I think this works better because the songs are better. You got Brass in Pocket, you've got Kid, Stop Your Sobbin'. Nick Lowe produces that. You got Chris Thomas producing the rest of the record. I think it's phenomenal. It sequenced well. All the songs have a certain energy to them that you just want to crank it up. It's an album you want to crank up loud. Perfect record. It is a perfect record.
Yeah, Brass in Pocket's a good tune.
See, any of these in my list, though, they could change any day. There's no way anybody can list 10 records.
No.
We tried. So then, Chrissie, there you go. Pretenders, the debut album, phenomenal. There you go. What's your next two?
All right, so my top, well, I guess we're in our top four. So I'm gonna go with two bands that had new lead singers from. So basically, the first band I'm gonna go with Sabbath, Heaven and Hell with Dio.
Yeah, I
what a
could see that.
transformation! They kick Ozzy out. Perfect record. I think
record.
It's Dio's finest hour. Heaven and Hell, Children of the Sea, Neon Nights, Die Young,
phenomenal.
Riffage from the Master, Iomi. I just think it's a perfect record for me. And then I'm gonna go with King Crimson Discipline, the first incarnation. Frame by Frame, Elephant Talk, the Talking Drum. It's a perfect record. I mean, there's something about that record. It just flows perfectly. Just from the opening note of Elephant Talk, perfect Crimson record. So I'm gonna go with Discipline and Heaven and Hell.
But Heaven and Hell is my favorite Black Sabbath album. I see they got Ozzy out of there and they got Dio in, and you can tell the band had a rebirth.
Oh yeah.
It's like they got their wind again. Nothing against Ozzy. Nothing against Ozzy, but
because Ozzy was doing Blizzard of Oz.
Right, but you've seen other bands do that. They get rid of somebody and then all of a sudden, look at AC/DC. Nothing wrong with Bond, but Back in Black, it was like they were all re-energized again. And though I prefer Bon Scott, but Heaven and Hell, perfect songs, good sequencing, Dio sounds great. Everything is what's not to like?
Because you go from like the opening track in Neon Nights right into kind of like the lower, softer Children of the Sea, which is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, there was magic on that record. And as far as Discipline, I could have picked Discipline too. The trilogy, that's my favorite Crimson. Adrian Balouf running the band, love it. Bill Bruford playing drums and Tony Levin with Robert. Keep it simple, kids. Those trilogy King Crimson albums, you can't go wrong with them, in my opinion. That's my favorite. I love all those records. But Discipline could have been in there. But Beat, I think I like Beat because I think that was the first one that really I got turned on to. You know how you hear those records that you come into a band and you're going, oh, I love it. And then I'll be your favorite. That might be a lot. Has a lot to do with it.
The first King Crimson album I ever bought was Red because of John Wetton.
Well, I love that. No, I don't want to go too deep into King Crimson, but I like Red, but not like I like Discipline or Beat, Three of a Perfect Pair,
Now, what do you think
there it is right there.
The last three with Blue? Are you there?
I disappeared.
You kind of
tilted
froze on me.
I tilted my monitor. But see, look,
okay.
I'm wearing the colors up there.
Oh yeah, I see that. Cool.
Come on, man.
I see. That's that Marshall Crenshaw behind you, right?
100%.
I hear that's a great pop record.
It's a great album. Why is it moving? Why does the internet stop when I move it? Which is weird. And then the Tubes.
Oh yeah.
God, it doesn't like it when I move
about 10 years ago.
I think I saw him on that tour. I did see him on that tour.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Anyway, so yeah, King Crimson, any of that stuff's great. Oh, is it my turn? God, I was on a
Yes.
tirade. All right, number 4. I can even hold it up. This record I got turned on to because I was at a girlfriend's house and we were at a friend's house and this, let's see. So it was a friend of a friend who had this incredible cassette collection. And the guy, I don't know where he was, but he had a lot of like British bands, a lot of new wave stuff, huge tape box, and he had this great big boom box, a really nice boom box. So we were over there playing stuff, and they had this tape, Duran Rio.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I was thinking about
Holy
putting that in my
shit. And
top 10.
we were just playing all this stuff that her brother had because he had a lot of stuff that was like European stuff that really didn't take off here. Okay. So it was a lot of new stuff. And this was like really early before this really ever took off. And come on, call it what you will. I think you got Rio, Hungry Like a Wolf, Save a Prayer, but it has to be one of the best era pop albums of the early 80s. These guys got, they're considered almost a boy band. They, Tiger Beat and all that. But I saw beyond all that crap. Production's perfect, great songs. This is the best set of songs. There's no sophomore slump on here. This is their second album. I heard it and it was like the skies parted, the water parted in front of me. Because I was so used to a lot of this other shit that was going on in, early 80s. But this was way different. Hungry Like a Wolf, when it came out, was different than anything else that was out at the time. Now, you may not think of that now, but back then when I heard it, I went, because I was like a big Beatles fan. And, I like the Knack and I like all that stuff. But Hungry Like a Wolf was kind of like an extension of that to some degree. I'm not putting Duran on that pedestal with the Beatles, but it was accessible. It was poppy. The songwriting was great, And eventually those videos
Hey,
came
if you
out.
look at their career and their discography,
Yeah,
they had the goods.
right. But the first two
And that
albums,
bass solo, and that bass solo, Rio, pure
yeah,
magic.
yeah, it's good.
Or the bass line in that, pure magic.
Yeah,
And Save a Prayer has always been one of my favorite, probably top
Favorite
three, top five
Prayers,
Duran tunes.
one of the greatest tracks of that era. So I'm going to give Duran Rio some love. Another band that I first heard in 1979, and I just mentioned them that when I heard them, it changed my life because to me, it sounded very British Invasion at the time. But that was in 79. But the third album, The Knack Round Trip, which got panned by the critics in 1981, it's more than just power pop. They're much more mature sounding, not quite as simplistic as what they had before, but they had tackled a lot more different music stylings on this. Songwriting's great. I don't know. It was all that Nuke the Knack shit that was going on. The tracks Just Wait and See. Hell, God, I could go through this whole damn record if I could see it. Radiating Love, Soul Kissin', Africa's phenomenal. She Likes the Beat. We Are Waiting's kind of psychedelic. Boys Go Crazy. One of the great tracks is Art War. That track they used to play in the clubs when they were playing like the Sunset Strip back in the day. It's phenomenal. I love this record. I played the shit out of it when it came out. And you could find it all day in the cutouts. But I love the Knack. So, and I told you that story, right? Did I ever tell you that story? In
I think you said
1998,
you saw them, right?
saw the Zoom tour with Terry Bozzio playing drums.
That's right. You did tell me that, yeah.
There's 25 people at the Cleveland Agora for that.
But what year was this? 98. I had no idea Bozzy was playing drums. Was this
He's
just
on,
like for the
he
tour?
plays drums on the album Zoom.
Oh, okay.
He
I
was
didn't know
like
that.
one of the few drummers could keep up with Bruce Gary. Because if you listen to Bruce Gary's drumming, he's like a machine. Bozzio can keep up with Bruce Gary. That's probably why they hired him. Because listen to the drums, Bruce Gary's drums. God damn, he's fucking good.
I was happy I got to see Bozzy live with the UK reunion. It was he, Wetton, and Jobson. It was pretty magical.
But you would think in 98, someone would realize Terry Bozzio's the drummer for the Knack, and you would think more people would be there to see Terry Bozzio play, but
No, well,
they
you
were
got
just
to
set
see
up
it.
right in front. We were right up in front. I mean, I was like from here, right at the front, and they were right there. Terry Bozzio's right there. It's phenomenal. One of the greatest. They sounded freaking great. Terry Bozzio is the man.
Oh,
I think he was just playing regular drums, so he wasn't using his rototoms. Because I always identify Terry Bozzio and Bill Bruford with rototoms, that sound. Think about it, the sound on like Beat and Discipline. Bill Bruford's drumming. Come on. God, I love the way he sounds. You hear Bill Bruford play and you can tell exactly who it is.
oh yeah.
God. But Bozzio's a machine. Well, all his stuff was Zappa. Phenomenal.
Oh,
What a, come on.
the playing on the first Missing Person record.
Phenomenal. You ever see, like, you can go out on YouTube and see him playing the US Festival?
I've seen parts of it. Yeah, he's nuts.
That drum set that he's got, everybody go do me a favor. After the show's over, go check out Missing Persons from the US Festival on YouTube. Of course, that band's a killer band anyway.
Oh, yeah.
They're all Zappa people.
Yeah.
But killer. Bozzio is like on fire. And he's a showman. He's so freaking great. There where I went on a drum tangent. But but you agree.
Oh yeah, I love him.
Love him. All right. That was two. Okay. You're up.
All right, so my final two is I'm going to kind of go in order. So I'm going to go with number 2. I'm going to go with my Yes Drama from 1980. Trevor Horn, So What? I think Squire and
could've
Hal
picked
playing, their tone was never better. Machine Messiah, Does It Really Happen? Just a killer record. Into the Lens, just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Even though no John Anderson, no problem. It worked
Yes.
perfectly. And I'll tell you, Squire is a beast on that record, and so is Hal. Their tones, I don't think ever sounded better. Phenomenal.
The best playing from Chris Squire,
Yes.
I think, is
Yes.
on Drama.
Yes.
But it's another one of those things, Anthony. No John Anderson. They got 2 new people in, and it was like a breath of fresh air. And you
Yeah.
can tell on Drama they're having a good time.
Yeah.
The material all works. You know, Steve Howe sounds great. They all sound great. And people, a lot of those purists will bitch, other than Rand Kelly, which he loves everything, yes, because he'll see this. A lot of the purists bitch about the Buggles being in it, but the freaking Trevor Horn and Jeff Downs, absolutely stunning on that stuff.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that stuff. It's
No, I
great
love the record.
material.
Me and my buddies loved that album for years.
I loved it when it came out. At that point, I was like a big Yes fan.
Okay.
Even when 901257889 came out, I welcomed them. I welcomed it with open arms. Maybe some of the purists might have went, "Oh, I love that record too." So I don't know.
Well, it's funny, but I have a cool story for you. So I didn't get introduced to Drama till maybe 1987-ish, and I didn't really know the story behind it. But as I got to read what was going on, then I kind of understood. But I remember it was my senior year in high school, and we had a girl in our class. Her sister was like subbing our homeroom, and one day it was my senior year. I was listening to my Walkman. I was listening to Yes Drama, and she says, "Hey, what are you listening to?" And she was probably like, I was 17 or 18, so she was probably in her mid 20s. And I said, "I'm listening to Yes Drama." She says, "Oh, great album." I was like, "Oh yeah, you're pretty cool."
Yeah, no one knew what that record was then, but
Yeah.
she did. I don't know. I played it all. I loved it. I still
Yeah, I
love
didn't
it.
discover it till like 87-ish.
And just between us, I'm just going to let you know that is my favorite Yes album.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is.
Mine's Relayer.
Relayer is great, but I love Drama.
Oh yeah,
Maybe-
the Squire and Hal are just beasts.
On fire. Some of the greatest, like I said, Chris Squire's bass parts. Gee, many Christmas.
Yeah, and his vocals.
But I like, Chris's bass playing on, Fragile and all that. But God, there's something about Drama.
Now, where does Fish Out of Water fit with you?
Oh, it's what in relation to what?
Like, just is
In the
it
Yes
something you
Pyramid?
enjoy?
Oh, it's one of my favorite. I'm going to put it in there as a Yes album. So
Okay.
yes.
Because it has Bruford and Mraz on it.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Chris Squire was the heart and soul of Yes.
If you listen to that album, you kind of think that.
Without Chris Squire, we lose something.
Yeah.
For one, his vocals in Yes were very predominant. Whether he wasn't singing lead, but his background vocals,
Oh, he and Anderson sounded great together.
they were a beautiful blend.
Yes.
And without that blend,
It's
I don't
kind of
want-
like Wright and Gilmore. Echoes.
case closed. But Chris, without Squire, who was the heart, the soul of the band. I mean, I get it that he wanted them to go on. That's fine. Everybody has to earn a living, but at least name it the Steve Howe Band or something.
Steve Howe Band, yeah.
I'd be much better with that. But whatever. Hey, I'm a monkey with fiber optic cable. Who cares what I think? But God damn,
All right, well, I'm
Drama's a
going to
great
go
record.
with my last one, and it is my favorite, probably my favorite album of the 80s, and it's my favorite Russ record, and it's the same as you picked, Permanent Waves.
I'll be
I
damned.
mean, Spirit of Radio, Free Will, Jacob's Ladder, Natural Science, Different Strings, which doesn't get a lot of love, which is absolutely gorgeous.
Phenomenal.
Entree New. It's perfect. And the recording's amazing. Like I have an original on LP that sounds you just crank it up. It sounds, even though you heard the Spirit of Radio, kind of like the Dark Side of the Moon, you've heard that a zillion times, but it sounds so good. It just still sounds awesome because of the production. I mean, I've heard Spirit of Radio a zillion times, but it still sounds amazing.
Yep. Yeah. So why not Moving Pictures?
I like moving pictures, but it's not Permanent Waves. I mean, I love the Camera Eye's probably my favorite. If somebody held a gun to my head and say, "Hey, what's your favorite Rush song?" Probably the Camera Eye. But as a whole record, I think Permanent Waves it's just perfect.
Yeah, I think that's the peak for me. But another record that I could have mentioned though, because I like it better than Moving Pictures, is Signals.
So I love Signals, but I could do without New World Man.
I love Signals. I love Signals.
Yeah, the Weapon is fantastic. Weapon,
I'm sorry,
Digital
but-
Band, Subdivisions.
Terry Brown was the fourth member of the band, as far as I'm concerned. They did their best work with Terry Brown, and without Terry Brown, it was never quite the same. You can quote me for that on that. But Signals is a great record. I would have
love
loved,
Signals.
but I do like Grace Under Pressure. But I'd like to have heard if they would have kept going with Terry Brown. But it wasn't meant to be. But I think he knew exactly what to do with them. Whatever. We needed Terry Brown on Power Windows. I think that would be, I'm going to go out on a limb there. All right, cool. Excellent picks. All right, my number 2, I'm going to go with a record that at the time it came out, I liked all the other records before, but when it came out, I heard it and went, I don't know if I'm feeling it. But now I think it's absolutely brilliant. I think this is the peak of it for this band. I'm going to go with Police Ghost and Machine from 1981.
Oh yeah, that's a
Got
good one.
more keyboards. It's more experimental. It's the production on it is what I really like. It has a certain tonality that just kind of draws you into the record. It's kind of I don't want to say dense, but it just has a certain, not an eerie quality, but I don't know. It's got some allure to it. Now, I mean, I think maybe one of the criticisms the band had, I think Sting thought he sounded like he was singing in a elevator shaft. But for the tracks, like Everything She Does Is Magic, Spirits in the Material World, it all works. The sound of the record works for the songs.
This?
What?
Secret Journey, Omega Man, Darkness. What a way to end it.
Yeah, but it's kind of dark sounding.
Oh yeah, well, I
It is
kind
a-
of get that because of the videos where they were shot. It was kind of like in a dark room. That kind of brought the vibe of the record. I mean, I bought it when I was 11 years old. I already had bought the one Zenyatta Mandata when I was 10 because it don't stand so close to me. And then when that came out, I remember listening to it on my GE cassette player because I bought it on my cassette.
Yeah. Hey, no big. Hey, that's what
Darkness
everyone-
is just so good, and Secret Journey's like their prog kind of like, and Invisible Sun's another good one.
It's great. Hugh Padgham, I think, was a great addition. I think the band pretty much produced it, but I think Hugh had a lot to do with it too. I love it. I think it is their crowning achievement. because they were never quite as experimental and
No.
creative. Because Synchronicity, it's a fine record, but Regata de Blanc I like better. I like Zenyatta better than Synchronicity, but
Well,
Synchronicity's
and you're talking
great.
about
But
another band that kind of added some Reiki to their music. Like, I think The Bed's Too Big Without You off of Regatta is fantastic.
fantastic. Yeah. All that stuff holds up.
Yeah.
It's always
Five
fresh.
perfect, you have to admit, five perfect records from that band.
Yeah.
Pretty tough discography to top.
I Yeah, but they took it as far as they went, and nothing. I like Synchronicity. It's not my favorite, but there's not a bad track on it. But I just like the creativity that was on Ghost. They seem to be pushing the creative boundaries with that. I'd like to have seen where they could have went if they would have kept going with that. Anyway, my number one. This is my number one. When this came out in 1989, I damn near had an outer body experience because there's just something about it. This is often considered the peak for this band. I consider it a peak as well. And I think at the time people didn't think that so much. But this was really the crowning achievement. Is where everything worked. Evidently, they were doing a lot of drugs on here, though, at least Robert Smith was, from what I understand. I'm going to go with Cure Disintegration from 1989. The singles that were on it, you got Love Song, you got Pictures of You. Pictures of You, I think, is the greatest Cure song ever. I think the stature for this record has grown over time because it really got mixed reviews when it came out. Again, their producer, David M. Allen, was the producer. He also produced Wish, and I always thought that David M. Allen is like their George Martin, like their Terry Brown, and then, he was only working with them until, well, Wish, and then no more David M. Allen, but I think he knew exactly what to do with the band.
Now, did you ever get like a Pink Floyd type vibe from this record?
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
like now, your favorite track on this is what?
Pictures of You.
See, I'm going with Prayers for Rain.
Prayers, all of it. You asked me another day, but when I heard Pictures of You, I just thought, as a single, as a pop tune, Jesus.
And I never really heard the record, but one of my stoner buddies in college is like, he was partaking and he had Prayers for Rain. And I'm like, what is this?
Well, what I understand is Robert Smith was doing a lot of hallucinogenics.
Oh, okay.
It
Well,
sounds
that makes
like
sense. Because the cover's very psyche.
it's kind of like, yeah, you're right. It's kind of like Dark Side of the Moon. But I think it's a perfect record. All these records that I've listed, I think are perfect records. So, there you go. I don't have anything more to add. Anthony, you got anything more to add? I didn't know if you have any honorables. I don't have any honorables.
I think if we did 10, if we did this next week, it might be different. Hey, I don't know about you, but I think it might be different.
No, but we can wrap this up. I didn't even mention April Wine, Nature of the Beast. Jesus, how could I not mention that? I didn't mention Whitford St. Holmes. God, I'm failing. Look at Roadmaster. Oh, that's not 80s. I don't know, but those are my records for right now. We want to hear from you down below. Let us know what you think. What are your top 10 favorite 1980s tracks? We want to hear from you. In the meantime, there you go. You have it. Let us know what you think. We're all interested in knowing. Well, Anthony, I don't have anything else to add. That's what